Fire in the hole! Fire by the piece! Left to right, 5-second interval. Fire! Fire! Thank you for coming by. Let's go warm up. So, that was the artillery in action. What you've got 3 different types of guns out here. On the far left, you've got a Confederate 2.9-inch or 10-pound Parrott rifle. It's going to fire a bullet-shaped projectile out of it. Range of a long range of about 5,000 yards, effective range about 2,500 to 2,800 yards. The next gun is a 1857 12-pound Napoleon. It's going to fire just a cannonball. It's actually going to fire that right there. The wood base that's on it is a sabot. You strap it, especially with a shell. That way you can take the powder bag and attach it. So you've got fixed ammunition. So you only need 1 man to run the powder up. Whereas with the rifle, you got to have 2 men because you got to run the powder up, then you run the shell up. Effective range on that one, about 1,680 yards. You can go longer. You can go 2,400 to 2,600 yards. But effective range is about that 1,600 to 1,800 yards. Now, up there, you've got a rifle that band of a 32-pounder or a 6.4-inch rifle. Seacoast gun. Now, the gun originally was a smoothbore 32-pounder, but because of the rifling, what they would do is they would rebore it to put rifling grooves in it. Then they've got to send it to a foundry. They'll shave down part of the breech to level it, and they put these bands, these wrought iron bands around the breech to keep the gun from bursting. Same thing with the Parrott rifle. Now the range on that gun, about 3 to 5 miles.
Wow.
Sounds impressive, but 3 to 5 miles is pretty extreme. You want to be a little bit closer. But still at 3 miles, it'll hit. All of these are line of sight weapons, which means if you can see the target, by God, you better hit the target. A good gunner, a really good gunner, will hit his target on the first or second shot, even with a smoothbore. These guys are good. But with a Seacoast gun, firing at a moving ship, it's a little bit more difficult. Now, the guns that are out here right now were the type of guns that were here in January 1865. So you had the 2 field pieces right here at the Sally Port, and you did have the rifle up there on Shepherd's Battery. One thing all these guns have in common is they're muzzle loaders. So the front of the gun, the front of the barrel is the muzzle. All the loading happens there. So they would clean the gun, worm it, wet sponge it to extinguish any burning embers in it. Then they'll load the ammunition, powder, then the shell goes in. You seat the whole charge, you pick and prime it, and to get the gun to go off, my fingers don't work. You got this friction primer right here. Small brass or copper tube full of fine grade black powder. It's got this wire sticking out of it. That wire's got barbs on it. When you put that in the vent, you hook the lanyard up to it, and when you pull it, this wire comes out, it creates friction. It's going to ignite the powder in this tube. Flame goes down, it ignites the powder. 750 degrees, you get deflagration of black powder, which is the burning of black powder, and that's what's happening. Powder burns, the expanding gas from the shell, from the explosion, is what propels the shell out.
How many of these were they firing
minute or every 5 minutes during the battle?
So the rate of fire on these guns is different. It's all different. The Napoleon will probably have the fastest rate of fire, simply because it's a smooth bore, and you're just and it's a fixed ammunition. So it's just right in, one charge going in, it slides right in. With the rifle guns, because you've got grooves in the barrel, and then you've got rifling rings on the shells will actually engage the rifling going down, so it's going to be harder to get that round down. Now, of course, the big gun is going to take a lot more to get that gun loaded. You're dealing with a heavier shell, plus you're having to move that whole top carriage in and out of battery. Now, getting it out of battery is easy. It's just going to recoil. On the recoil, when it fires, the gun goes back. But you've got to hoist. It takes all 4 crewmen to hoist that gun back into battery. So your rate of fire on that gun is about once every 5 minutes or so. These guns, these field pieces, you can get a shot off a minute, every minute. If there's a situation that calls for what's called canister, that's when infantry's imminently attacking, and you hear the command canister, all bets go out the window. I mean, there's no more safety, no nothing. They're just loading and firing as fast as they can. So you can get 2, sometimes even 3 shots a minute, but you're hustling. 2 shots in a canister situation is more realistic. Y'all want to see it again? Shepherd's battery, load! What am I forgetting? Yes, sir. How did they adjust? Okay. So to load these guns, or to aim these guns, it's a 2 to 3 person job to aim them. So the field pieces, it's 2 person. You've got the gunner that's going to come up behind the gun. He's going to sight, and then there's an elevating screw that he can turn. Same thing with the 32. You just use that elevating screw to give you elevation. Now, for the field pieces, number 3 will step back. He'll go to the trail handspike, which is the bar coming off the back of the trail. And the gunner will tell him which direction he wants to move. And so he'll just swing it like that. This gun, the 32 pounder, same thing. The gunner's up on the chassis, aiming it, controlling the elevation, but the 2 men on the back will take their bars and they'll have to embar and they'll have to heave that whole chassis left and right. So the aim's a little bit more difficult on those big guns. So yeah, you got 1 man doing the up and down, the elevation, 1 to 2 men swinging it left and right.
What's the weight of these guns?
Weight on the guns, the Parrot's about 1,500 pounds, the Napoleon's about 2,200 pounds, and the 32 pounder is 6,800 pounds. Yeah, you're talking about a lot of weight. A lot of weight. Left section, load.
Not a question for today, but how about overheating on the tubes?
Overheating? The tubes will get hot. Yeah, the interesting thing about these guns, the iron guns, the Napoleon, the Parrot, and the 32 are iron. So they're going to burst. It's not if, but when, just because of the nature of the metal. But if you use them long enough, eventually something's going to burst. The Napoleon, because it's a bronze gun, it'll never burst, and it can withstand the heat much better. One thing you want to worry about with these guns, especially if you're using cloth bags, ready, sir. Receive, is so much heat that you get a premature ignition. It can happen.
oh, yeah.
It doesn't happen often, but it could happen back in the day. Receive. Ready? Receive. All right, we're going to go left to right, 0 intervals. So it'll be boom, boom, boom. Ready? Fire in the hole! Fire by the piece, left to right, 0 intervals. Fire! So we'll get the guns secured, the box is locked, we'll drop the rope, and y'all can come in and take a closer look.
Thank you all very much.